Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
It's been years and millions of dollars in the making, and now the Holy Rosary High School expansion project is nearing completion. Members of the media had an opportunity to see the progress.
So we've made use of every area in the building as an educational space.
The new spaces are meant to promote collaboration between students. Some of the highlights of the new expansion includes a Truth and Reconciliation Center, arts and science labs, as well as an innovation center. Now that center will support a video game design program and an esports team.
When you talk to students as young as 11 or 12 years of age, they understand that the career paths that are available to them, or their horizon of possibility, includes everything from Silicon Valley to New York to working here in Lloydminster. And sometimes that working in Lloydminster can reach into those places without ever having to leave your home. So it's a fascinating development that our kids really understand what the future is, and we're building spaces to ensure that we accommodate those future possibilities.
Students were involved in the design of the expansion. LCSD says work is on schedule and students are expected to be in the new spaces next month.
We'll be opening January 31st just for occupancy, and our first few weeks we'll be celebrating that opening with some of our supporters and some guests on February 10th. That's Friday, February 10th. So we're pretty excited about that, but students should be in classes for their second semester on time. And yeah, we're really looking forward to opening up our new space.
For Primetime Local News, I'm Jason Mackey.
The Border City Farmers Market is here, and they have a great selection this week. The Farmers Market is set up again, showing off tons of locally made items and treats for everyone to enjoy.
There's a lot of homemade products brought here. So that's the key thing, I think. You know, it's anything that's homemade, and people make their own, like the lady with the weighted blankets of joy, she makes those blankets herself.
A few tables and vendors are new to the market family, and some local people come here to sell what they make out of passion.
Well, I make jewelry from all kinds of different gemstones, and I'm a level 2 Reiki, so I charge them all with Reiki. So I have necklaces, earrings, and I also sell tea, which is from the Toronto Metropolitan Tea Company in Toronto. Wow. Yeah. And then my husband does the feeders that you can see in the background there, the big ones. He's a cancer patient, so that's something he does on the side, and make a little extra money so that we can send him off to get his treatments. And then I also have a hair salon, and so I sell professional hair products as well.
The Farmers Market is open Thursdays year-round from 12 to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays in the winter from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
February 1st marks the 13th annual Kindness Wins campaign for the Lloydminster and District Co-op. This year's campaign has more involved and even secret limited edition merchandise. Our Shelby Clark spoke with them for more details on what residents can expect.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is Christine Knork with the Lloydminster and District Co-op. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Christine.
Thank you so much for having us, Shelby. We're so excited.
Super excited to be able to have you here as well, because we are speaking on the 13th annual Kindness Wins campaign. It's already coming up here, and this will be launching next week. So really glad to be able to speak with you and help give a look ahead of what's going to be involved this year.
You bet. So Lloyd Co-op is so fortunate to be able to sponsor the Kindness Wins campaign. Across Canada, it's known as Pink Shirt Day or the anti-bullying movement. We've really taken our own spin on the campaign and flipped it into kindness, focusing on doing good and saying good and speaking good, because that impacts people. And who would have thought that amidst our campaign, now the 13th year, that we would say, holy smokes, we've been through a pandemic. We've seen the mental health challenges that have come out of that. So I think the message is extremely relevant, and maybe even more so now as we're going through things post-pandemic as a society. We're launching next week on Wednesday, February 1st, and we're really excited for the partnerships we've got for 2023.
And it's truly amazing to know that this is the 13th annual campaign. It's been continuing for the past 12 years. Amazing to see that and continue and see that strong support, because that's definitely what's needed for these campaigns to keep going. Now, how has that support been over the past 12 years, and just seeing that response? How nice is it to see how good that response has been and that support from people in the community?
You bet. So we've started with basically a very accessible way for people to get involved. We've got Kindness Wins merchandise. So we encourage people, if they'd like to purchase a shirt or a hoodie or a crew neck, that they can do so at our co-op locations. We donate a portion of the proceeds. It's not a moneymaker for the co-op. We don't benefit from it financially because we know it's the right thing to do. We want all the proceeds to go straight back into supporting youth through Beyond Border Circle of Change. So that's, of course, one way people can get involved. We really branched out last year and brought some community partners on board, which we're really excited about. That's continuing. Specifically, one example that we can share is Spiro's Restaurant. They're going to be donating a dollar amount off of their pizzas for the month of February. So we're just excited to see that other businesses have jumped on board and said, you know what, this matters to us too. Our kids matter, our teens matter, and we want to get on board with the Kindness Wins train. So that's a couple little sneak peeks for you for February.
And I know you were taking your own personal spin on it with the co-op, with having the Kindness Wins campaign compared to Pink Shirt Day across Canada. So, with this campaign, when you see people out there supporting this campaign and buying the merchandise, what message are you hoping to spread every year?
Yeah, the central message, honestly, Shelby, is kindness. Starting first with kindness to self. So the way that you speak to yourself, the way that you hear your own words in your own mind, the way that you interact with yourself. I mean, it starts here. It starts in the heart, and then, of course, once we're strong, confident, kind people as a person, as an individual, spreading that outward. We were chatting recently with some of the crew from Beyond Border Circle of Change, and said, you truly don't know how much your words can impact somebody. And we hear it all the time, but it rings so honest. It rings so authentic, and it rings so true again. Maybe it's because we're in the post-pandemic phase, and the mental health side of things is really challenging. There's a lot of conversations around that, and there needs to be. We do believe with this campaign that just reminding people of the power of kindness, not just in February, but that it matters all year and it's a lifestyle. So that's the central theme for sure.
Oh, that's perfect. And I think that's a really beautiful message. And then now, of course, there's also merchandise. But, what's some ways that people around the community can help support this campaign and just really spread the love?
You bet. So, of course, there is the option of merchandise. We're so lucky that we work with a local provider on that, and artist Brandy Hofer has designed the 2023 branding. So, we're really excited to unveil that to the community next week. In addition, honestly, things that don't cost any money, doing something nice, saying something kind, being that positive force, again, not just in February, because kindness matters all year. Those are things that are simple, simple ways to activate. Of course, if you're wanting to order pizza during February, you could do it through Spiro's, and they're supporting. We'll have a few more things to announce as well once we get into February. But there's ways that you can really spread the message with your words, with your life, as well as with your wallet. So lots of ways to get involved.
Oh, perfect. So I'm really glad we're able to speak now and help get the word out, kind of a look ahead, almost like a week before when this really hits for next week. And knowing that all those opportunities through February, I think everybody's going to be really loving this year's campaign, and just seeing all that strong support is honestly so beautiful. Is there anything else you want to add that I may have missed out on, Christine, that's going to be coming up for next week?
There are three colors this year. So, of course, Pink Shirt Day, we always have a pink piece that we offer to the community, which is awesome. We've got a black piece as well. That's a very popular color. And there's a secret color for 2023. So that is hitting the co-op shelves on February 1st. It is limited edition. It will only be offered this year in 2023. And once it's gone, it's gone. There's children and adult sizing available. So shop early, because the merchandise, when it's gone, it's gone.
Perfect, Christine. Really looking forward to seeing that, seeing all the new merchandise in the limited edition. That is an amazing idea. I'm sure many people are going to be showing their support for this year's campaign, since it's already coming up here, but it already sounds like, you are getting strong support, which is very beautiful to see that. So, once again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Shelby. Appreciate you. You have a good day.
Our Abby St. John talks with the manager of emergency with the City of Lloydminster about the upcoming annual Bordering on Disaster conference.
I'm happy to be joined here today with Andrew DeGrucci with the City of Lloydminster. And today we're going to be talking about a 2-day conference that will be coming up in September, plus a half-day virtual conference that will be happening on April. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. Now, this is an emergency management conference. Tell me a little bit about what that means and what people can expect from it and, kind of the whole point of holding one.
Sure. So the City of Lloydminster's hosted the Bordering on Disaster Conference on an annual basis now for just over 5 years. It seeks to bring emergency managers from especially a municipal approach together and just kind of participate in some joint learnings and understand some of the responses that have happened throughout Canada and just how we can be better prepared, what are our best practices, and any learnings that are occurring from previous events, the City of Lloydminster can continue with them as well.
And why does the city feel like holding this, especially in the border city, is important for emergency management?
Yeah, so specifically in Lloydminster, we're certainly trying to kind of leverage that bi-provincial aspect that we have. So we're really doing a good job in bringing together both the province of Alberta and the province of Saskatchewan to do some joint provincial learnings.
And you said that this is an annual thing. In the past, how have you seen the reaction to those who do come out to this conference and, kind of the things that they can take away from it?
We've always heard really good lessons learned and kind of actionable recommendations of what emergency managers can institute in the field. Sometimes it's kind of a bit of storytelling and hearing what other emergency managers have went through, but I've always had really good feedback from it.
Now, it does seem like this is a huge learning opportunity especially for people within emergency management. Now, there is a half-day virtual session on April 21st. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is in comparison to the conference that is going to be held in September?
Sure. So certainly the COVID-19 pandemic kind of put a hamper on the conference. So when our planning committee came together late last year, we kind of decided to open it up as a 2-stage approach. And the virtual session, while there is lots of learning opportunities there, it's also to kind of try to get some word out, get some word of mouth about the conference and really create an opportunity that people can attend the conference without having to travel to Lloydminster. So we decided on April 21st, we're going to do a half-day virtual emergency management conference. And part of our decision around doing it for that timeline is it's 2 weeks before the May 1st to May 7th Emergency Preparedness Week. That May 1st to 7th EP Week is a Canadian-wide program that's created from Public Safety Canada, just where emergency managers throughout a joint timeline are delivering emergency management messaging and preparedness communications throughout their communities. So we thought that was a good timeline for everybody connect and check in. We talked about doing it in May, but we know everybody's going to be super busy in May throughout that EP week. So we thought that would be a good time for us to come together.
Well, it sounds awesome, especially, in case somebody can't make it to the 2-day conference in September. This is an awesome way for them, to just kind of stay in tune with what's going on as well and learning, and especially it being 2 weeks before that emergency week I think it's really important to have that. Now, how can people, attend? How can they get involved with it? What do they have to do? Is there any tickets that they need to purchase to secure a spot, or how does that work?
All of the information for the virtual and the in-person conference can be found at lloydminster.ca/BOD for acronym for Bordering on Disaster. In there, you'll have 3 different pages. One, you can find information about the event. There's a link there to purchase tickets. So the virtual session we're offering for minimal fee of $20 for a half-day session of speakers from throughout Canada. And then there'll be tickets posted for the in-person conference there as well. The in-person, we do have an early bird special going until the beginning of May. So there is an opportunity to get a little bit of a discount on those tickets for the 2-day event. And then the third one is we also have a speaker abstract. We kind of identify that our planning committee doesn't know all of the stories throughout Canada and all of the emergency management messages that have occurred. So if there's somebody that does have a message that they'd like to share at the virtual or the in-person conference, they can put in a request form through there.
Sounds awesome. Now, is there anything else that you would like to add in regards to the conference or just to emergency management in general?
I don't think so. We're super excited and putting in lots of work, even though we're 8 months away. It's kind of filling up our plates lots. So we're really thankful for city staff with the City of Lloydminster that have helped so far put on the conference as well. We do have our planning partners with ACO and the Lakeland College have also really stepped up, and they're helping a lot throughout this conference.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today. This does sound super important to have, especially within the border city. Emergency management is very important, as you stated. And so this is a great learning opportunity for anybody within the field or, who just want to learn more about it. So thank you so much for joining me.
Yeah, thank you, Abby.
The Lloydminster Bobcats are set to face off against the Grand Prairie Storm tomorrow. Off a 6-3 loss against the Sherwood Park Crusaders last weekend, prompting them to take their practices more seriously as the season winds down.
We've been working, especially since Christmas time, to get the goals against down, and that's a big part, and we've had success at that. At the same time, on the offensive side of things, we want to score more goals, so continue to do that, and I think the preparation for the weekend, we've had a great week of practice so far, and to continue that into the weekend and continue to build on what we have here.
The Bobcats are currently on a 5-game road trip, and with the Grand Prairie just 1 point behind Lloydminster in the standings, tomorrow is a pivotal game.
We looked at it as a 4-point game versus a 2, and for us to get out on the road here, it's our last weekend regular season. We're going to be 2 nights on the road, and then we're back for 11 and home of the last 14, so that's pretty exciting.
The Bobcats finally return home for a rematch against the Sherwood Park Crusaders on January 31st. Now let's take a look at your ag prices.